Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Politics and Prose. I'm Brad Graham, the co-owner of the bookstore, along with my wife, Lissa Muscatine. And we are absolutely delighted to be hosting another in what has become for us an ongoing series of discussions on race in America. This series began, believe it or not, 10 years ago, at a time the country was reeling from shootings of young black men at the hands of police officers across the country. It was April Ryan, then a veteran Washington correspondent for American Urban Radio, who asked if PNP might sponsor a community discussion about race, and we readily agreed. April moderated that first one and has returned to moderate all the subsequent ones. This evening marks, we think, the 10th. And joining April will be two other prominent journalists, Nikole Hannah-Jones and Don Lemon. It's one of the very sad and great tragedies of American democracy that racial healing remains an unfulfilled aspiration. These days it often feels we're regressing as a society. So there's certainly much to discuss this evening. April brings to the panel much experience from her nearly 3 decades as a black woman covering urban issues from the White House. She's now the longest serving black member of the White House Press Corps. A distinction that has afforded her up-close insight into how a string of American presidents, going back to Bill Clinton, has dealt with racial issues. April currently is the Washington bureau chief for Black Press USA and host of The Tea with April Ryan on Substack. She's also the author of several excellent books, The Presidency in Black and White, At My Mama's Knee, and Under Fire, reporting from the front lines of the Trump presidency. Her latest book, Black Women Will Save the World, celebrates the resilience and strength of, yes, black women. Nikole is an investigative reporter who covers civil rights and racial justice for the New York Times Magazine. She holds the night chair, she also holds the night chair in race and journalism at Howard University, where she's the founding director of the Center for Journalism and Democracy. Among her most notable journalistic achievements, of course, is the 1619 Project, which was published in 2019 and sought to reframe American history by placing slavery and its legacy at the center. Her work has earned numerous prizes, including a Pulitzer for commentary for the 1619 Project and a MacArthur Fellowship. Don has spent 3 decades in broadcast news, first for stations in Birmingham, St. Louis, and Philadelphia. His first big break came in the early 2000s when he began working for NBC News in New York, then moved to Chicago to work for an NBC station there. In 2006, he joined CNN as a correspondent, and 8 years later started anchoring evening shows, becoming one of the network's most visible personalities. In late 2022, he shifted to CNN's morning show, then left the network in early 2023. These days, the Don Lemon Show streams on all platforms. He's also written 2 books. This is The Fire, about race in America, and I Once Was Lost, about his own crisis of faith alongside America's decline in faith and diminished faith in itself. Now, like April, please turn off your phones. She is always setting an example for us. And anyway, Don, you can come out.
He's such a ham.
So here's your mic, Don. And so this is our stellar panel, and there is a surprise guest, who April will tell you about in a minute. So please join me in welcoming April, Nikole, and Don.
Wow.
Wow.
It's a lot of people, April.
It's a lot of people. They're coming to see you, Don Lemon. And you, Nikole Hannah-Jones. Wow. First of all, I want to thank Politics and Prose, the vision of Brad and Lissa. I'm gonna be honest with you. Everyone doesn't do this kind of thing. Everyone doesn't do, and yes, when we go to our own spaces, we have some other bookstore owners here as well. Raise your hand. Raise your hand.
Mine's not open yet.
Yours isn't open yet, but it's
Soon to be,
coming.
soon to be.
You always anticipate going to your home and we talk about family issues. But for these two to open this space, to have a needed conversation on race, I want to thank you for the courage, the vision to continue to do this. And it's unfortunate in 2025, we're still talking about this. And I'm going to tell you one of the things. Yeah, you go, this is church tonight, I think, Don. I think we're having church. Yes. Ramunda Young, stand up. Yes, Mahogany Books. She is our friend. She is our friend. And Brad said, you want to invite another book owner here? I said, yeah, but they all work together. And I want to celebrate this sister before her bookstore opens. Nikole Hannah-Jones has got a bookstore coming this spring.
Yes, we won't give a date yet.
We won't give a date. But it's coming this, stay tuned, in New York. And I want you all to visit. But listen, I want to start this important conversation tonight with words from people like Mary Frances Berry, the former head of the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights. She said, this is worse than before. Why? Because there's a pullback of rights, of laws, and of people in high spaces and places. During the Congressional Black Caucus week, I talked to Jonathan Jackson, the congressman and the son of Reverend Jesse Jackson, who he says is having a hard time speaking right now. However, he said, if his father was speaking to me today, he would say, we are witnessing the end of Reconstruction. And he also said, it's not yesterday, it's today. This is the civil rights movement. And with that said, I want to start off with Nikole Hannah-Jones because, yeah, we came here on a slave ship in 1619. Nikole, from that moment to now, what say you?
Wait, from that moment to now, what?
What say you?
Oh, so I'm talking for the whole hour by myself. Okay, got it.
You can, girl, you can.
Tell the story from 1619
A
till now.
synopsis of a synopsis. But I mean, when you wrote that book, however, you were chastised. The president, the books banned, all of that stuff. The president went after you. He was like, it's not 1619. What did he say? It's 17 what? There you go. You didn't care. Okay.
She doesn't care. I love it.
Yeah, I know, right? So in a synopsis for synopsis, from that day to today, are you surprised? And what say you?
So, am I surprised? I am surprised by. I'm not surprised that we're in the midst of a second redemption, and that's what the white supremacists called the period after the fall of Reconstruction, when they reclaimed the America that they had built. They called it redemption because white supremacy was being redeemed. So the statue, Confederate statue that the Trump administration just put back up in DC, all those statues were put up in the first place during that period of redemption. And they put those statues up to remind Black people of their proper place and to say, now we are back on top. So the whole argument of the 1619 Project is we have failed to learn the true history of our country. that we've learned a mythologized history of a country that has never existed. And so if we only learn that history, then we will be shocked. But of course, our argument is that the true story of America doesn't begin with ideas of slavery, or excuse me, ideas of liberty and freedom, but with the practice of slavery, and that those two warring halves of our country, whether we would be a nation of freedom or a nation of slavery, have always done battle. So I'm surprised that they have been able to do what they've done so quickly and so thoroughly and with so little pushback. I knew what they had planned for us. I've been writing about this for years, but I didn't think things would fall this quickly. Girl.
Thank you. My husband took it. I put the thing on Do Not Disturb. That's your girl, my daughter. But
That's the CIA. No, let me stop.
Thank you, James.
But I also think, people who say like, oh, we're not surprised, we've been here before. Not me. Right? So this is a past that many of us have read about, but we haven't had to live in it. And that's what Reverend Jackson's son was saying, is that for many of us, it's not us trying to gain our rights. It's watching the rights that our parents and grandparents fought for us to achieve being now taken away. And there's a different pain, right? And having rights and losing them. And we're in that having rights and losing them. So I think whether you're surprised or not, we can not be shocked and still be appalled. So I think more than anything, I'm just appalled by like the lack of courage, by the lack of allies. And the last thing I'm going to say, because I really will talk for this whole hour, this is the moment where like all the people who read history and imagined during slavery days you would have been one of the abolitionists. And you imagine during the civil rights era, you would have been the one marching with King. Now's your chance to show and prove it.
Ooh.
Now is your chance.
So Don, okay, thank you for that. Thank you for those gems, yeah. So Don, we are watching, but thank you for the allies that are in this room. Thank you for the allies that show up. But Don, there's a sense of grief. Listening to what Nikole said is absolutely true. But there's a sense of grief in this nation for Black folks. It's grief, but we're also saying, we didn't elect him. You said that's right? They said, we didn't elect him. Let them handle what they did. Yeah, that tells it all right there. That face tells it all. There's a sense of grief. There's a sense of, I didn't do it. What are you hearing on the street when you take your little yellow and black microphone out there and put it in people's faces?
Wait, before he answers, can we just applaud the way you turn that shit around?
Yes. Because look, and quiet as kept, Don is talking about, I'm gonna get some man on the street reaction here tonight. So
don't go anywhere.
They liberated you to do what you always wanted to do, and so they freed you. I love watching it. I love watching it.
Thank you. I met with someone who wants me to do a big deal, and he said, this was just yesterday. He said, you're more popular than you were on CNN.
Because you free, brother. No shackles. You free. It's free.
It's Kobe. It's Kuta, not Toby.
Right? That's right. That's all. I said, I'm not Kizzy. I'm April. I said, Dawn, you not Toby. You Dawn. And he was like, yes, sister, I love you.
So
we are having a family discussion.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you guys for coming. How are you doing? Good. We're still hopeful, but we need to talk about that. What do I hear? I hear people who there's a lot of apathy out there. And that's what got us here in 2024 was the apathy and people believing that this could not happen. And it could, and it could get worse, and it is going to get worse. So for the folks who are saying, and I hear it all the time, this is not my problem. I'm going to let other people fight this. I'm having chicken for dinner, right? That's the whole thing, or I'm having whatever. You can't do that because Nikole is right. if we don't fight for our own rights, who's going to do it? It's nice to have allies, and we appreciate our allies, but think about what she said. We have more resources and more rights as of now, and especially economic resources and comfort than any of our ancestors who fought for the civil rights
We in a
movement.
shutdown.
It came before.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a shutdown, but hang on, let me finish. No, I want to say we have a shutdown, but we have more rights and more privileges and more freedoms than my mother and my grandmother, who had nothing. We used to say they didn't have a pot to piss in and a hole to pour it in. They didn't have anything. But yet we sit around, and I don't mean to chastise us, but some folks sit around and say, I'm not going out there, not getting involved in that. I'm not standing up for this person, I'm not doing that, because I want to keep my Mercedes. I like having my Gucci bag. And so you have to be willing to sacrifice something, because if you're not willing to sacrifice something, you're not going to have that. All of those things will go away. Comfort is a poison. It lulls you into complacency. And then you end up in a place where we are now, are much worse. So, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but I just wanted to get that out. But I hear a lot of people out there who are nervous and who are concerned, but they don't know what to do. We have the power to do things. If
Wait a minute.
Economic empowerment, we'll talk about that. Money. Your money is their money. And if you don't give your money to them, they won't have it.
So we're going to have a question and answer session. We don't want you calling out now,
Yeah.
okay? We're going to have a question
But
and answer
if
session.
Jimmy Kimmel should have showed you that. If you don't give your money,
True.
if you pull your money back, they go, oh, maybe we should put Jimmy back on the air.
Yeah.
Maybe we should start talking about rights. Maybe we should start talking about health care. That's why I'm so disheartened at what happened last night and today, is because people who are not hearing what's happening on the street. These are people, hey, how are you? These are people who are not, they're not in touch with what's happening on the street. The senators who voted for that. So
Those 8.
that's why I'm out on the streets every day. That's why I'm out every day. I try to go out and talk to people every single day. And I'm going to talk to you guys. You're going to be my people I talk to today.
So you're going to be on TV or on Substack and all that, YouTube, all that stuff. But I'm going to say this to you, Don. I'm going to push back. And this is when I'm going to bring my special guest up, because I saw him lean down when you said that. I'm going to tell you, I was born in 1967, just a few years before the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, and a couple of months before Dr. King was assassinated, 9 months before Dr. King was assassinated. And then I saw the Fair Housing Act. And you know, Brown v. Board was in 1955, right? 1954. Thank you. Thank you, sister. Get that year. You know a date. Okay. A year and a date.
May 17th.
May 17th. Come on, Nikole. Okay, I got the date wrong, but honey, I got somebody to fix it right. But listen to this. You're saying we have more rights. Let me tell you something. Affirmative action has been pulled back. I'm voting without the full protections of the Voting Rights Act, and they're up in the Supreme Court working on Louisiana versus Calais, the second Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. That's getting ready to be abolished. Wait a minute, hold on.
You're right. But
Yeah, but I mean, let me.
this is what April and I used to do on TV.
Yeah, we did.
We were good TV together.
Yeah, we did good TV, but we always went viral. But I want to bring our special guest up, none other than Dr. Ben Chavis, the former head of the NAACP. He was also, and he's an author as well. The book is The Transatlantic Slave Trade. Please, and he's going to be signing today. But he also was one of the youngest people to march with Dr. King. Okay? And not only that, Dr. Chavis went to jail for our rights, Don. He was part of the Wilmington 10. I saw you lean down when Don said we have more rights. I don't know what you're going to say. And guys, guess what? He also brought me into Black Press USA. He gave me a job. So yes, Dr. Chavis.
First, I thank God for the opportunity to be with my sisters and brothers. I was born in 1948 in a racially segregated community, Oxford, North Carolina. I never had an opportunity to sit in a classroom with a white person until my sophomore year in college. I could not go to my local library until I was 12 years old. At the time, I was breaking the law for trying to go read a book. I'm not going to tell you my whole story tonight, but it resonates with what Nikole Hannah-Jones has said and what Don Lemon has said in April. I want to thank the owners of Politics and Prose for having this. I wish we could do this every night. By the time I was 14, I was the youngest person on Dr. King's staff, 14. I was a youth coordinator. Put my age up illegally, driving all over North Carolina, South Carolina.
Wait a minute,
Georgia.
14?
14. It's beyond the statute of limitations, so I could. So I grew up in what is known as the Civil Rights Movement. SCLC, Southern Christian Leadership Conference, didn't have a lot of money to pay us. So I took a part-time job as a labor organizer for the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. I was a chemistry major in undergraduate school. I finished organic chemistry. Marion Barry was a chemist. Jose Williams was a chemist. I'm not trying to say there's something unique about being a chemist, but we were all in the movement together. Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, Southern Christian Leadership Conference, CORE, the Congress of Racial Equality, NAAC. Back in those days, it just wasn't one organization. If it was black, we all were in it. And I think that today, as we reflect on the question of rights, and particularly in this setting, in this bookstore, at a time where there are forces outside of this store that would like to take all the books off the shelf. They would like to probably imprison the writers. So these are some tough times. But a close friend of mine who was a pretty good writer, his name is James Baldwin. And Jimmy, I used to call him Jimmy, one day here in D.C., we were drinking libations. We weren't pouring libations at the Watergate Hotel. And after several libations, Jimmy reaches into his pocket, pulls out his pen, says, "Ben, the pen is mightier than a sword." The question, though, how do we use the pen? What do we write about? What do we publish about? What do we distribute about? How do we encourage people to see that we're all part of one human family? I come out of the Black Power movement. I come out of the Black Nationalist movement, the Pan-Africanist movement. But after serving almost 10 years in prison in North Carolina, the Charlotte Observer reporter, Don, religion reporter, wrote me a letter and said, "Chavis, unjustly incarcerated was your greatest learning." I wrote a 21-page letter back saying, "My greatest learning in prison, unjustly, I've come to affirm the oneness of our humanity." There's only one race, and that's the human race. And sometimes that's very difficult for us to say, particularly since we've been the targets of racial oppression, racial discrimination, genocide, all kinds of stuff. If you read the books that my colleagues here have written, you know that life hasn't been easy for us. But we've come to this point, even after what happened last night in the Senate. We cannot afford to lose hope. We cannot afford to lose faith. We cannot afford to lose our humanity, even in the face of inhumanity. And that's why we got to keep writing. And that's why we got to keep publishing, keep standing up, keep speaking out. I'm glad that Don Lemon is free now. Free at last, free at last.
Thank God Almighty.
Thank God Almighty, free at last.
Emancipated.
Exactly. So I come tonight somewhat as an old war hero. Not myself being a hero, but I've seen people put their lives on the line for people who they didn't even know their names. And when we talk about the movement today, one of the concerns I have is that we tend to minimize what Fannie Lou Hamer said. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And to me, our response to what is going on at the White House, you know, is what are we doing in our houses, our homes, our communities? Because the truth of the matter is the power is with the people, but the people are being told, miscommunicated, that they are powerless. And so I end now because April just gave me the signal.
I love him, but he's gonna come back.
Yes. I'm so pleased to have April Wine as our Washington Bureau Chief, Black Press USA. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chavis. Thank you, Dr. Chavis. Walking history. Walking history. But Nikole, I want to go back to this, and you were talking about how they did this so fast. This wasn't fast. They had been plotting and planning, just like they've been plotting and planning about Roe v. Wade for 50 years to overturn it. They kept chipping away, and they finally got it all together. And now, not only do they have it all together, we, the people, don't have checks and balances. Everything is co-opted. White House, House and Senate, Supreme Court. Then our media. How many media folks in here today? This is ridiculous. Co-opted. So with that said, how do we fight back? What is your prescription? Because we can talk about the problem all day long. But with everything that seems to be against all those people in this room, I think there's a mind meld together here. How do we fight back? Yes, you.
I'm not the one to answer that question. I became a journalist, so I could just write about the problems, and y'all have to figure out how to fix this shit.
But no,
okay?
but you know what? You are so prolific. You have
not.
But you have made us want to go out and fight for it and fight for you. When they shut you down in schools, when they shut your books down, girl.
Yeah, y'all fight for me, but no, I'm playing. Listen, I'm being serious. I don't know. I don't have the answers. Like, if you all came to leave inspired, you shouldn't invite me on the panel. I'm being very serious. These are the darkest times of my lifetime. And I'm always honored to be in the presence of the people who fought for us to have the rights that we have. And then I feel ashamed because how dare we lose within the span of this generation what it took our ancestors decades to fight for. One thing that's very clear to me is that the opposition knows this country far better than our allies do. They understand very fundamental truths about America. That's why when they executed their plan, they were ready, right? That's why they go after the history. That's why, like, we were laughing at how silly it was that they were erasing pronouns or, oh, look, they want to erase Harriet Tubman. No, they're very smart about understanding who controls the history, controls the narrative controls the politics and the policies. And we are in a country where we have been told ever since Trump won the first time that what was driving the electorate was economic anxiety. And Black folks have been writing against that and saying it is always demographic anxiety. It always has been. And now, when they're explicit about it, now people understand what we were saying. So I don't honestly know what the answer is. People say get out and vote. Well, folks did vote.
And
Right.
it made a difference. It made a difference. He watched and he's hurting. He wanted the government.
Did it though?
But wait a minute. He wanted the government to be reopened because it looked so bad on him. And his poll numbers at 37% approval
And
rating.
yet, what fundamentally changed? So this is the problem. You keep asking people to engage in a political system, and their lives don't change. And in fact,
But it's
the
gotta
people
keep
they
going.
vote for are all getting money from the same folks, right? They're all largely in the pockets of the same corporate interests, and everyday people's lives don't change. And so people continue to feel betrayed. And every 4 years, you say, go out and cast that ballot. And they cast the ballot, and nothing changes.
But I think that's why Mamdani has been elected in you, because people are tired of the old stuff.
Wait to see.
That's New York. That's New York.
But wait
and
a minute,
see.
but what about Virginia?
No, I think people are tired of the old stuff. But look, and look, I think Mamdani is great. I hope they give him a chance. But I think that you can't, say that that's the whole country. New York is a very specific place. Now, look,
What about
I'm going to.
Virginia? What about Virginia?
Well, Virginia's different. I mean, Spanberger is not
Is she a progressive?
Mamdani. She's not a progressive. She's more of a centrist. What's her name? In Micah Sherrill in Jersey is not the same thing. Spanberger wanted the Senate to vote to open back up. So she's not Mamdani. I don't think Mamdani would be doing that. Now, that's not to say I'm not giving Mamdani shade, because I think what he did was extraordinary, and I think he's an extraordinary person. I think he's actually going to be a good leader, and they should give him a chance. But New York is a very specific place, and not everybody in the country can run like a Mamdani. So let me just inspire you, okay?
And then I'm gonna come back with the reality.
Let
Go
me
ahead,
just
Don.
inspire you, because we are sitting in a room that is diverse, that's full of people who care, allies, black folks, allies. So we think, and I want to thank the allies for being here, and thank you for being allies. We know what to do. The people before us,
Dr. Chavis.
yeah, I'm just saying, I know he is, I know he is, wrote the plan for us. And we can't let them tear it up like Donald Trump tore up the COVID plan that Barack Obama had put forth. Because if we do, then we're doomed to our destiny. We are fulfilling the destiny that they want for us. We cannot let that happen. So let me inspire you. The book has been, the rule book and the playbook has been written for us. All we have to do is become inspired. And all we have to do is not to be lulled in by complacency and comfort. Everyone wants to be comfortable. Everyone wants to be in a warm, snuggly place. Everyone wants to take go to my girlfriend's, this is my vacation, and blah, 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 blah. Or the guy's like, I got to go on my football trip with okay, that's all well and good. But at some point, you have to be willing to sacrifice something. And when we rise up and we protest like we did for No Kings, and you get millions of people out there, that concerns them, right? And when they see people who are in independent media, who are able to speak out without corporate influence, that worries them. They're coming for us next. They're going to try to shut us down.
That's true.
Because they want to control the narrative. So I say to you, I'm not going to go to a restaurant that's not serving what I want to eat. I'm not going to watch a television channel that's not serving what I need to see and what is good for me, who has corporate interests, putting corporate interests ahead of the American interest, knowledge and correct information. So, you don't give your money to people who are not helping you.
This is the Target fast. That's what you're talking
But
about.
that's Target, that's ABC, That's whatever channel that you want to name.
Oh, come on, sister.
That's all I'm saying is you
Yes,
do not
that's our alley.
have
Yes,
to
look at
give
her.
your money to them because, as I said, your money is their money, and the moment you start taking it back, then they will act right because the only real color that they care about
It's green.
is green.
Well, let me tell you something. They care about blue
Thank
too.
you.
Trust me. Donald Trump was upset Tuesday night. And if the Democrats have enough gumption, oh, you say, oh my God. Okay. If the Democrats can fight back, if they take that win that's behind them and continue, I pray, to continue to fight for the people. Because one thing in this moment, power means service. And that's what, hello, power means service, means serving you, not tearing up the White House and having these big old crab knuckles, at Mar-a-Lago and people in the daggone food line at exorbitant numbers. This is ridiculous. Power means service. And I'm telling you, they are afraid. They are afraid. Don't believe. They are afraid that the momentum can keep going. They are watching. And I hear you, my sister. I know.
Well, thank God they have such a weak opposition. Because I don't actually know what they're afraid of. All I saw was people suffering for weeks on end, and they got absolutely nothing for that suffering. That's what I saw.
But it has to keep
let me tell you,
building.
the loyalty has to be to the politics, not to a political party.
That's
I
right,
don't care
the
about
people.
Democrats. I care about who is actually going to deliver something for regular people. And the truth is, you had amazing momentum coming out of the last election, and now all that momentum is crushed.
That's
Who
true.
in here is feeling excited? Who in here is feeling like you have somebody fighting for you? This is the problem. The problem is Black folks are held captive. Right? We're 14% of the population. We have to build coalition with folks who would rather not mostly build coalition with us. We have to be honest about that. Listen, I'm too angry to be on the stage.
No,
and paint
this
a
is
rosy
what we
picture.
need.
No, this is where you need to be.
This is the
us
conversation
to be
that we
clear-eyed
need.
about what we're facing, because being delusional about an optimistic message in a time when they are controlling all the levers of power and there is no real opposition is not how you're going to build a movement or momentum. Dr. Chavis can tell you, the civil rights movement begins right after World War I. How many decades did it take before we got the Civil Rights Act passed? 5 decades. How many deaths? How many political assassinations? How many bombings? How many little girls bombed in a church and killed? So we have to be real. It wasn't a march. The civil rights movement didn't last 5 years. It lasted 50 years. And then the opposition to it began as soon as the last act was passed. So if we're not honest about what we're facing, let me tell you, I'm not praising y'all for being allies. I'm not doing that. You should be allies for your own democracy. You should be allies for your own rights. The fact that we always feel like we have to be grateful that somebody will stand in unity for us in trying to support what's best for the country, I'm tired of that. We got to do better. Expect more of yourselves.
So let
Be
me
an ally for your damn self. You don't got to be an ally for us.
So wait a minute, let me ask you. Okay, I hear you. But let me So all right. I threw out the word Democratic or Democrat. Do you honestly believe that this group can move any one Republican right now? Do you think you can? You do? Who said that? Okay. All right. And Erica back there pointing people out. Okay. All right. All right. How many of you think you at least have a chance with the Democrats in this room? Yes. Well, dang. Woo. That says something. You got some stuff. You got some material today for your show.
I know. Let me say this. I am grateful for allies, and I am grateful for just like I'm grateful for the Black folks. Just like I'm grateful for the Black folks who are getting out there and who are protesting, who are not just sitting at home. So I'm grateful to people who are doing something, and not just because they're allies, but for people who take action, and there is movement and there's momentum. That's what I'm grateful for, because it's easy for us to sit at home and not say anything and just be lulled in by corporate media with it on in the background all day, and all you're doing is they're indoctrinating you and you're becoming angry by what happens, and you don't even realize it, like you, all day.
Let me clarify what I'm saying to you. Let me clarify what I'm saying. I'm saying
Get it out,
standing up
sis.
for democracy is not doing a favor to Black people. This is what I'm saying. Like, why is this about you being allies to us when it's actually about us collectively working together to try to save democracy and make a country that actually lives up to its ideals? I just get tired of us always having to be so thankful that someone would stand with us.
But
when
wait
we
a
should be
minute.
standing with each other. So that's what I'm saying. I'm
But
not saying
didn't it
I'm
take-
not happy to have the people who are in the room be in the room. I actually think the most important thing we should be doing right now is being in space together and having dialogue and conversation and not just doom scrolling. I agree with that. But what I'm just saying, like, I'm just tired of us always having to like beg and just be happy that everyone who allies to who?
I get
Like,
you.
who are
I
you
get you.
allies
I
to?
get you. I get you. But I'm gonna say this from history's sake. The march on the Selma, Bloody Sunday. Am I correct? They tried it, and it really didn't get the attention until the rabbis, till white folks joined it. And that's the unfortunate piece, that this is that society.
Well, it got attention because they got beat down nearly to death.
Exactly. They didn't care when we got beat down. And we get come on, go to the mic. Go to the mic, Dr. Chavis. You were there. Go to the mic. Yeah.
No, it's the role of the media. We have been getting beat down, but it wasn't caught on television. The role of the media had a fundamental shift in the consciousness of America. And that's why the Trump and them are going after the media now, because they realize they cannot control the consciences of people. Fox News viewership went up. It did not go down. And all of these right-wing commentators, the deification of Charlie Kirk, excuse me. But
There was a whole groan that
I
just
mean,
moved
all
across
this
the
is a
room.
part of where evil is being sanctified.
You're not going to see it in the media because the media is all corporate now.
No,
And
it's
which is-
co-opted now.
But it's co-opted by who co-opted it.
Donald Trump.
Well, no, it's not Donald Trump. Is they allowed Donald Trump to manipulate them, but it's because of money. They want their mergers and acquisitions, and at some level, they agree with his ideology, right? With the MAGA ideology. So you're not gonna. The thing is, we're in a different time now. You said it was worse, right? I say it's different. I think it's different because you are not. Then people were outraged by the images they saw. We become inured now to cruelty. Look at what's happening around the country, people getting picked up off the streets, rounded up. A lot of those people are American citizens, and a lot of black folks too. And I know because I was out there. And so when I walked in, Nikole said to me, your coverage was better in Chicago, was better than the networks.
True.
Because they didn't really show it because they don't want to show Donald Trump in a bad light. And so the independent folks who are out there just showing, look at what's happening here in this neighborhood. This person was picked up. I spoke to a man who is 66 years old, black, from Chicago, a Chicago native, born here. And he was doing some work for the state. He had some business with the state. So he had his birth certificate, his identification card, and his Social Security card in a duffel bag right by the door. And they did not care to see it. They just rounded him up and put him in the back of like a budget rental van. And he spent 8 hours. But he's not the only one. There are dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, if not thousands of people who are being caught up in the same thing. And you are not seeing it every day. Or if you're seeing it, a lot of people are just scrolling by it like, oh my God, that's terrible. And then they comment and whatever. And then they just move on. We can't just comment and move on. We have to figure out how to get involved and how to be willing to sacrifice something. What did John Lewis say? Good trouble. And so, a little disturbing the peace, you get in the pokey for a little while, that's good trouble. That's something. That's a badge of honor to have on your record.
Now you are sent to Uganda if you go to the pokey.
No, they're not.
You think not? Yeah, you wink. Yeah, keep on. All right. So listen, everyone. This is the conversation that we needed to have. Seriously. You say no? Why didn't we need? Oh, okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We open it. You stressed? Okay. I mean, but you know what? Success and moving forward doesn't come without a little bit of pain, a little bit of dis-ease, dis-ease, dis-ease,
Discomfort.
dis-ease. I'm not talking about disease. I'm talking about dis-ease, and I'm in dis-ease right now. So because this is a truth in this moment in 2025, we are back to where Dr. Chavis and Martin Luther King and John Lewis and Julian Bond were. They trying to stop us from knowing about slavery, trying to take it out of our museum, the Blacksonian, down the road. And God knows what they're doing right now while that museum is closed. This is why we're having this conversation, so we can take it out and to continue the conversation in our communities with our allies. And in this point, I mean, we're only supposed to have an hour. Brad has been so kind. I want to let you guys in
Brad's
on.
like, you better.
I know. I want to let you guys in on the conversation, gentlemen, sir. I want to hear why you said we shouldn't have the conversation. Well, why don't you come up and say it real quick? Come to the mic. We got two mics. And really, I want questions. Ooh, be careful, y'all. Don't hurt them. See, something.
Yeah. Actually, I will ask a question because I don't want to.
Okay.
So, actually, two quick ones.
One. I'm sorry.
Okay. One. Do you think that our push toward integration was been? I agree. We're all one species. But do you think our push toward integration is really what has put us in this position?
Our economics, the change. What do you think, Dr. Chavis?
That's you.
That's you. Okay.
Not one person in this room wants to go back to Jim Crow. Not one person in this room wants to go back to Jim Crow. Now, I never lived in Jim Crow, thank God. I think, yes, there were some unintended consequences of integration, obviously. Closure of Black schools, loss of Black businesses, Black educators. This is true. But what I do tell you, my dad was born in apartheid Mississippi. Black people couldn't go use the hospital. Black people couldn't go use the library. Black people couldn't do any of the things that we're allowed to do today. I imagine you spend most of your day, you go to whatever restaurant you want to go to. You go in whatever store you want to go to. You sit, you don't?
I live in Boston.
You have choice.
Right.
So I think sometimes we want to look back on that period in a gauzy way. Yeah, that's true. The Black doctor was living next to the Black domestic. That's because they didn't have choice. Now I think we should use our choice. I live in a Black, low-income Black neighborhood. I sent my daughter to a low-income Black school, but I had a choice to do so. And that was a time where we didn't have choice. So I think we have to be very careful about wishing to be back in a period of subordination, because that's what segregation was. It wasn't us choosing it. We were forced into it.
Yeah,
Go ahead, though. This is the expert. I just read about it.
Just a clear distinction. Integration and desegregation are not the same thing. Right. We really never had integration. Show me real integration. Show me housing integration. Show me economic integration. So it's a myth. We never had integration. We had different stages of desegregation. And the desegregation was resisted. It wasn't welcomed. So there was a triage of desegregation.
Oh, yeah.
Powerful, yes, sir.
Mr. Lemon made the point about being
Question. We got it because we got. Sir, please.
right. Well, so on the point of being comfortable, how do we get? So I go to All Souls Church in D.C. I can't get the white folks in All Souls to even talk to me about race. They had an anti-racism for whiteism, anti-racism for whites class. They won't even talk to me. I said, well, how did the class go? What did you talk about? So how can we get these people who consider themselves white to lose that? That's the problem. The whole problem is this idea of race. How can we get them to
How do we get them to talk to you?
to come to their senses, to be human beings? to lose this fake idea of whiteness that was created.
Okay, we got
know.
you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
How do we? I'm not sure I understand it. How do we get them to what? To
I think he wants people to talk to him. You've got a community.
well,
You got a community here.
It's
You
a
got
construct.
allies
It's made
here.
up.
yeah.
Sir, one question. Thank
Okay.
you.
But racism controls
Put
this
the mic
whole
down,
thing.
sir.
Yeah.
Put the mic down.
It's
Thank you. I
racism.
appreciate you. Okay.
right.
All right. Next. I'm telling you.
No one answered this question.
Okay. Answer it then.
How do you get people to come and say, look, I think, look the room now. I think you have to you start where you can. I don't think that we always have to push people. And I think that it's a cliche, but you lead by example. And so if you're not interested, I'm still going to talk to people. I'm still going to integrate with people. But if you can't force anybody to do anything that they don't want to do. I think you can't look at it that way. Anyways, but I'm telling you the answer. I'm going to tell you the answer to all
Racism
of
is a
all
social
those questions.
construct from this
Hold on,
side
but
over
let me
here.
tell you the answer to a lot of folks' question. You have to demand today because, as Nikole said, the media controls the narrative. You have to demand better of the media.
Yes.
That is your power. And if you demand better of the media, then everyone will start to see what's happened. That is how you get people's minds to change. But you have to demand better of your media. And what I'm saying to you, I want you to listen to me very clearly. If you are not getting the information, if they are not serving you, turn the TV off. Get rid of the cable. Start listening to independent media. Start reading more. And then once they see that happening, that's when they will start to change. That's when they will start to put people like you on television.
That's right.
And on panels. And people who have your point of view. That's when they'll start doing it. Otherwise, if you just sit there, you keep paying it every month, and you keep getting the same old bullshit every month, the same old white supremacist argument, same people just sitting around the table arguing and nothing gets accomplished, that's going to continue to happen until the next administration comes in, and then they're going to carry forth what the last one did.
Thank
So
you,
that's
Don.
my
Yes,
thing.
ma'am.
So I just wanted to, that was loud. I respect everybody on this panel. I'm kind of fangirling out right now, but wanted to respond back to you, Mr. Lemon, because you made a comment that, people are just sitting home.
Question.
Statement. They're staying home and they're, on their
Question.
Gucci's and going on,
Okay.
whatever. I'm that person that's staying home because I did my job. I went out and voted and I told the people, don't do it. And I feel like at the same time, we're being shunned because we're like, we told you. And now we're seeing all of this dismantled.
Thank you.
And I want you to kind of change your narrative to put that perspective on there where we were just like, we told you.
Thank you for your
And you
statement.
weren't
We got it.
listening.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Can I respond to that?
Can I respond?
Okay.
Hang on. Look, ma'am. Oh, no. I don't think you're disrespecting
She
them.
just
We're
said
all here
no
to talk.
disrespect. She was away from
So I do have that narrative. I do tell people that all the time. If you listen to me, if you watch me, I do tell that. I was out there telling people the first time that I, as a member of the media, that I endorsed or told anybody who I was voting for was for Kamala Harris. And look, yes and no. Was it Kamala Harris? Not really. Yes, but mostly it was because of democracy, like she says. And our democracy was on the line, and she was the only candidate in the race. She was the candidate in the race that stood for democracy. So that's why I broke that thing where, you don't tell who you support as a member of the media. But I do tell that narrative. I do tell the story, and I understand that. But you cannot stop fighting. I know that people are tired. I'm tired. Every day I get up, I'm tired of talking about these people in the White House. I'm tired of going out. I was out there today. I was freezing. I had to, my sweatpants are on.
Okay, Don.
Under my suit.
Okay. He's got his long johns on. Okay. This is not show
Look,
and tell.
But you got to get out there, ma'am. You got to fight for yourself. That's all I have to say, and I understand how you feel.
And I'll be real quick. I think, one, it's important for us to understand that voting is the easiest thing you can do.
Yeah.
Voting, and no disrespect to you either, but you don't get a lot of credit just because on one day out of the 4 years, you went and cast a ballot. Democracy requires more of us in that. Our ancestors require more of us in that. So yes, you did do the right thing. And I understand, trust me, after the election, I was as devastated as every Black woman up in here. And I saw all the memes going by of like Black women sitting, watching the city burn down. And I said, that's cute, but that will never be us.
Sitting on the wall, sipping their tea.
It can never be us. Because the thing is, we know who's going to hurt the most. We can't just sit back and let them do what they're going to do. Who's suffering right now the most? Loss of SNAP benefits. Us suffering the most, even though we didn't want to talk about that because we feel like we have to show white people get SNAP. We disproportionately are on SNAP. It does hurt us the most. We disproportionately work for the federal government. The shutdown does hurt us the most, right? So we don't have, y'all, we dishonor our ancestors. If we say, I've done enough, do what y'all are going to do. We can't do that. But I also understand the pain. I understand where this is coming from. And what I would tell everybody who's been asking me, why don't I see Black folks out there marching? Black folks are organizing, but we're not doing that performance anymore. Black folks are moving in silence and organizing right now, but it is up to other people now to put your bodies on the line. I do understand a reticence to do that in this moment, but y'all, more is required of us than voting. So you can feel everything that you feel, you're entitled to it, and then you have to get yourself up and fight for our communities because our communities are always going to be the ones that suffer the most. But I feel you.
Amen, Nikole. And you know, you can clap. Yeah. The Church of Nikole Hannah-Jones. But you know what? I'm in agreement about that cute picture that we saw. The women sipping tea, had their legs crossed on top of a wall, watching the city burn. The city did burn. Los Angeles. The city did burn, and we had to activate. And there were people that were activating, people who looked like us. Shirley Ralph and her kids donate. I mean, there were people out there active. We have to figure out, like you say, how do we activate? We have to be active. Yes, ma'am. Question. Everybody question, please. Thank you.
Hi. I was wondering what advice you have on storytelling and getting like the message out there for the stories that haven't been told yet. Because I'm working on a film right now about the Richmond 34, which hasn't been told yet. So I'm excited. It's coming out in June, Richmond 34.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Wait, sis, does it have a name, and where can people watch it?
Yes, so it's called The Richmond 34, A Silent Victory. It's about a protest that occurred in Richmond, Virginia at Tallheimer's department store. And there were 34 students from Virginia Union University who protested. One of them was my grandmother, so it's a close connection. And the story hasn't been told, so I'd really appreciate about getting.
What's your name?
I'm Kayla Laws.
Kayla, I think you already answered the question. You're telling the stories that should be told. Yeah, so just keep doing what you're doing. And congratulations.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Thank you. Yeah. And if anyone is a filmmaker or knows filmmakers, please get to that sister because she's asking how do we be community to support her work. So
I'm going to put her on my show.
All right. There you go. There you go. There you go. I love it. I knew I asked you to come here for a reason. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you all for being here, and thank you for all of your amazing contributions to all of us. My question is, in addition to all the ways that we can fight back during this time, is telling the truth a part of it? In that, we now know geneticists, anthropologists, biologists assert that all human beings originate from the continent of Africa and all humans derive from Africans. If we tell more of the truth in that way, maybe that's a way that we can come together.
Megyn Kelly would fight you on that one. Dawn, go ahead. Because she don't like a black Santa Claus. She don't like nothing black. That's right. Dawn, go on and talk about it.
What's the question?
So, in all the ways that we can fight back during this time, is telling the truth a part of that
Yeah. Well,
in the way that I just stated?
well, my answer is still the same. You have to demand more of your media, and you also have to demand more of from your leaders so that they don't erase the books, because Black history is American history. So if they erase Black history, they're erasing American history. But then they don't have to tell the story of how we got here and how they got to where they are now, and how they acquired wealth. So and what they did to our ancestors. So again, demand more of your media, but don't let our story. That's why it's so important for us to stay activated and motivated. We cannot let our story be erased. We cannot be erased from American history, and just from history at all. If you go all over the world, you're going to hear Beyonce on the radio. Somebody's going to be wearing a pair of Jordans. Somebody's going to be listening to Michael Jackson. Somebody's going to be wearing something, even if it's Kanye Yeezys. Someone's going to be wearing something. Our culture is American culture. And so we can't let folks forget that. And we have to, when they want to erase it, we can't allow them to do that.
And that's why we stand with this sister in this book. That's why we stand with all the museums that they're trying to shut down for the truth of who we are. We are not the mongrels. We built the pyramids. We made mathematics. We are queens and kings. And they took us, they kidnapped us and put us in ships, crowded us, and only the strongest survived. We are the lineage of that fruit. And I thank you for that question. I refuse to sit back and say, I'm just here. No, I'm
And
here
all
with
of
my
which were
chest.
crimes that were committed against us as well.
I'm
All those
free.
crimes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Hannah-Jones,
Hello, thank
I'm
you.
sorry,
Good evening.
Can you expound on it at all? The question was to all three of you.
I mean, I would say that truth is the weapon of the media. I mean, that's what my work is based in. So, of course, I mean, we are in an age of misinformation and disinformation on purpose. They want to make you not know what is true, what's not. They want to shape how we think about who we are as a country. Just your question was going back to Africa, and it just made me think of Cedric Robinson's book Black Marxism. And in that book, he talks about the creation of the Negro. And he says, in order to be able to enslave people, you have to erase their past. You have to create that the Negro was a creation, was an invention, right, of Europeans to tell us that we had no history, no culture, no knowledge, anything. And only in doing that can you enslave a people. And so we aren't the only ones who suffer from that. The fact that so many white Americans never get any history of Africa, any history of African civilizations, it means that they too also buy into the notion that we're not quite as equal as other people, even if they don't want to believe it. So yeah, I do think that getting a more accurate history, not just of Black American contributions, not just of our contributions after the transatlantic slave trade, but about the history on the continent. And it isn't all kings and queens, right? It's everything, because we were humans who had every spectrum of reality. So I agree with you. We do have to stop allowing ourselves to be this Negro creation. When we say race is a social construct, we say it, but I don't think we really understand what it means.
That's right.
Like I said over here, money is also a construct, but it's a real, right? All of society and culture is a construct. So something can both be a construct and also have real impact and implications. So Blackness was created to allow us to be enslavable, and Blackness was created so that white people could understand what their freedom looked like.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Wow. Powerful. I'm trying to get through to everybody. Let's go fast here. Question and then there, yes.
Good evening. I'm a Black educator. I'm a college professor. So my question is more about the institutional racism. There's a lot going on with the institutional. Trump is giving money, really bribing these institutions to have a conservative way of thinking. How can educators like myself, Black women, I'm never scared, but sometimes I know I have to feed my family. Also, what do we do in the education system and the institution when we're up against such hard demands and censorship and everything else that's going on?
That's a real tough one. That's a real tough one, especially now that they're erasing DEI and all of that. And it's very real that people are concerned that they're going to take their resources away, their tax-free status. if they start teaching, if they start, enacting diversity, equity, and inclusion policies within companies, and you have to remove that. Even if you don't remove it and you leave it on there, you get you get pinged for it. So that's a real tough one. I'm at a loss for that. I don't know what the teachers' unions are like. I don't know, but that's a tough one because
Dr.
it's real.
Chavis may be able to tell you later on. Find Dr. Chavis and talk to Dr. Chavis. Okay, yeah, there you go. Thank you. All right, we have the honor of having Phil Lewis, the president of the Washington Association of Black Journalists. Thank you for joining us.
You are a member.
Phil.
Yes.
Yes, I am a member.
But you are
I'm a member. I'm a card-carrying member. I'm a card-carrying member.
So I really appreciate this conversation because it's got me thinking about media, right? And media is in a really tough place, but what everybody in here doesn't really understand is that you all have power in supporting these journalists and the people that are telling the truth, the NNPA, the Afro, the City Paper, the 51st, Washington Informer, all these outlets need support, right? And so my question is, who are the journalists that you all are reading? Like, who are you all supporting? Who's interesting? Because we talk about media, but specifically,
my
who are we
husband
talking
says he's
about?
reading me. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't say yourself. Can't say yourself. Thank you.
Who am I reading? Okay, I read every piece of social media this sister puts out. I watch him and his craziness all the time, and I'm like, And sometimes, actually, and you don't know this, when I'm doing my Substack show, you're doing yours. The Tea with April. Everyone, follow it on Substack. It's really good. I'm while I'm doing mine, I look on yours sometimes to see what you're doing. So I'm competitive, but no, I do. And I mean, they wouldn't be here if I didn't respect them. This brother right here, Phil Lewis at the Huffington Post, he writes some amazing things. We have great people at the blackpressusa.com. And even having the name Black Press USA has caused problems for us. Advertising, any Black organization right now is losing out. Am I lying, Nikole? This is a real deal, guys. And in order for us to be able to continue to do what we're doing, Dr. Chavis, you said 80% of advertisers are down for Black media. How do we survive to be able to write the story for you? This is bad. This is a bad moment. But I'm reading him. I'm reading you. People that I respect. Who else am I reading? Jim Acosta. Yeah, oh yeah. I like a lot of the independents because they's free now, Don. They's free.
Yeah.
And they can speak truth the way they weren't able to do it before.
So I'm watching people like April. I watch Joy Reid's show. I watch independent media. I can't watch legacy media or corporate media anymore because it just infuriates me. Right now, I'm reading something that you guys probably haven't read. Well, obviously you can't read it. I'm reading The Galleys from Eddie Glaude's book, which is really, really good. So that's coming out. That's the book I'm reading. What do I listen to? I don't listen to that much radio. I listen to a lot of independent media. That's what I listen to. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you the journalists I'm reading. I'm reading everything Adam Serwer writes. I'm reading everything that Van Newkirk writes. Erica Green, who's my colleague at the New York Times, is kicking ass covering Trump's racist policies. So I'm reading everything that she writes. Everything that ProPublica is publishing. Like I'm looking at like who is doing the investigative work that allows pundits to talk about it. Right? Every pundit you watch on TV, they're not reporting. They're just telling you what they think about reporting. But we actually need people who are doing real journalism that's exposing these administrations. And there is still, despite everything that's happening, there is still a lot of powerful and important journalism. Even the Washington Post, with everything that's going on their opinion page, their reporters are still doing essential reporting. So yes, support independent media, but also understand its limitations to what independent media can do. Mm-hmm. Investigative reporting is very expensive, and you have a litigious person in the office who doesn't actually care if he has a case or not. He doesn't need a case to bankrupt an independent journalist, right? All he has to do is file a case, and now you're all of a sudden fighting him in court. And then
the government doesn't run out of money. He has all the money in the world.
He has all the resources he wants. I'm reading people like M. Gesson, right, who writes about authoritarianism. I'm reading Timothy Snyder. I'm reading Jason Stanley, two scholars of autocracy who have now fled the United States for Canada. So I've posted about this several times. Like, now is the time for books, y'all. Like, your education cannot be social media. You need to actually read people who are scholars, who have particular knowledge, and who can help us figure out what it is that we're seeing. Who are you reading? Who are you reading? You're like the Black Newswire.
He is. Well, the Black Press USA is too now.
I love Capital B.
Oh yeah, he said capital B.
I love Erica Green.
Yeah, Erica is amazing.
Adam's great one, The Atlantic, The Post. We have Amber Ferguson back here doing some stuff.
Amber Ferguson, stand up, stand up. Okay. Oh yeah, we posted some stuff of hers the other day. Dr. Chavis, who you reading? Other than me.
Well, we have 235 African American owned newspapers. And I read all of them.
And you read all of them, he said.
I have to. Keep in mind-
235, he said newspapers, and he reads all of them.
And wait.
Black newspapers.
Yeah, they're weekly publications. From the Chicago Defender, the Pittsburgh Courier, Los Angeles Sentinel, Houston Forward Times, the Afro, Amsterdam News, Philadelphia Tribune. And the Black press is deeply rooted. This year, 2025, is the 198th year of the Black press. The first Black publication was Freedom's Journal, March 16th, 1827. We wish to plead our own cause. And one thing you should know about Freedom's Journal, when Cornish and Ruscom laid out the paper, no New York printer would print the paper. Some Jewish rabbis thought it was a Jewish publication. I mean, they knew it was a Black publication, but they took the paper to get printed. And that's how the first edition of Freedom's Journal was published 198 years ago. Now, next year, they're celebrating the 250th year of the United States. It'll be the 199th year of the Black press. I hope we are around to see the 200th anniversary in 2027. But a lot of these papers are in jeopardy. I mean, you lose 80% of your revenue. And the advertisers tell us, we would love to advertise with you, Reverend Chase, but we can't be out of favor of the Trump administration. And this is across the board. Some of the big companies have retreated. But that doesn't mean that we should fold our tents and stop doing what we know we have to do. So I read all the newspapers. I have to.
Yes, sir.
Just a question. I'm wondering the panel's kind of opinion on this statement that the MAGA movement really bases itself on allowing their constituency to be their worst selves. And thus, how do we maintain our humanity fighting with somebody who has no rules, has no limitations, and no morality? And thus, in order to beat that force, you end up being your worst self. And so, do you think that's why they've been able to do this twice, and it's been running for more than decades, and that's why so many countries have had this same fight with just bad people, because their leaders allow them to be their worst self, and those people are unburdened. And so you can go into the Congo and cut off kids' hands. You can come from Belgium. You can go to all these different countries and see the same things happening for how many centuries, because the good people will not become the bad people in order to beat the bad people. Yeah.
Well. Oh, Lord.
Oh my gosh. Have we gotten to that point that we now singing Negro
Look,
spirituals?
That's kind of what's happening now, where, Democrats always have to be the sort of moral authority. The Republicans were banking on Democrats saying, we can't allow people to starve. We can't, because Democrats have a good heart. They got big hearts. They believe in humanity. There has to be someone within your coalition who is just as strong as the other side and who realizes the greater good. Because as Donald Trump went around, for the last 6 or 8 months with these tariffs saying short-term pain, and then it's going to be a long-term gain. And the Democrats couldn't last for 40 days. For 40 days? So where's that brother? Where did he?
sat
Yes,
down.
yes, sir. So I understand what you're saying, but there has to be. Not everyone has to be that person. You only need a few people who are, and those people have to be your strategists. They have to be your leaders who are willing to understand. I know that people are hurting out there and suffering. So we need to come up with a plan to help those people among good people. Maybe everybody adopts one family. Maybe everyone does something, but you cannot relent. And that's what happens. As Black people, big hearts. We are the most forgiving people on the planet. Look at what we've gone through. It's surprising. Look, sometimes if I had gone through what my parents and my grandparents and my great-parents, I'd be angry every single second of the day. I used to wonder why some of my relatives drank so much. Now I understand. But so you got to have somebody that's tough and has a backbone and doesn't give a what.
Thank you. These are the last
You
two
wanna talk about
questions. Yes, ma'am.
So this is such a galvanizing evening, and we have all these media stars here, and I see the camera on the audience, and I see the camera on you, and I want to know, where is this footage going? Is it going to go to C-SPAN? Could it be on some of the morning shows?
It should have been, right? It should have been.
This is good television, I think. So
Have you ever been in broadcasting?
Not
Have
gonna
you
be
been
on
a
the
producer or
networks.
anything?
No, I haven't, but
No, it's airing live, if I'm correct, on Politics and Prose website. And it takes you to take it and
what about
pass it along.
YouTube? Could somebody
It-
post
it's
It's
it?
on
I'm sure
YouTube.
it's
my
It's
parts
running on
out.
YouTube
It's gonna
now.
be on YouTube.
Don't
It's
put my
running
parts on YouTube.
And it's gonna if they will
Girl,
allow.
You've been good. Okay.
If they will allow us, we want to put it on our channel too. That's my producers are asking you guys that. You're not going to see this on network television, but you will see it. You might see it if they are taking something that we said out of context and they're using it. They're using it with a panel to talk about how bad April, Nikole, and Don
Why you
are.
put my name first? How bad, April?
I'm just saying.
I know, but you know what? But I'm gonna tell you, when you post us, post it in context, please.
They're not going to do that. Oh, you
I'm
guys
talking
will.
about this group,
Yeah.
yeah. But post it in context, because people take it out of context, and this is a discussion they don't want us to have. When I say this is a discussion they don't want us to have, trust me. And the last question goes to Michael Zeldin. Hi.
Hey, Michael.
Hi, Don. One statement first. Thank all four of you guys for putting this on.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
Don, you reminded me of something, which was in my last podcast episode with Eddie Glaude Jr. about his book, We Are the Leaders That We Are Looking For. His proposition is that we all have the capacity to be Fannie Lou Hamer. We don't have to wait for a leader. We don't need to wait for Malcolm or Dr. King or Dr. Chavis. We have the potential to do it. And we had a podcast here with Michael Ansara, a labor union organizer, called The Hard Work of Hope. It seems to me that that's where we are, and I wanted your reaction to that.
Oof. What reaction to what? That we can be the next Fannie Lou Hamer and yeah.
Each person, we don't wait for the next Dr. King or
The
Jesse
question was,
Jackson,
what can
Dr.
we do? And the question that Eddie answered was, we can do everything because we are the leaders we are looking for. Yeah. We hold the power in our own hands if we want to act on it.
Oh, my simple answer is, you want to go first?
No, go ahead.
Is that you have to be willing to sacrifice something. I can't tell you what you're willing to sacrifice. I don't know your story. I don't know, what your limitations are. Like she asked about, what happens with education. I don't know. But I know is what Nikole said. People always say, oh my God, that wouldn't have been me. If that had happened to me back in the day, I would have been doing this. I would have been doing that. Okay, we're here. And what are you doing? Yeah. So what are you doing? So yes, everyone has the capacity to be that, but that doesn't mean that everyone will be that. That doesn't mean that everyone has the courage to be that. I have the courage to do too, but I'm in a different place than maybe you or you or you. And so I do think that it is incumbent upon white people to have these conversations, to be open and willing to having these conversations, and to be allies to us and to democracy itself. And so, I can't tell people what to do, but I do feel that protests work. I think the protests, it starts small and people say, oh, well, it doesn't. I think it gives people the confidence that there are other people who are with them, that there is a community of folks who are out there with them, and that they can do something, that they have a bit of autonomy, and you keep on with that. The courage builds, the momentum builds, and then you end up with a Tuesday like last Tuesday. And then so let's hope that, and we had all this momentum, and she's right. And then now it's like, what? And so now I'm worried. Before I was like, oh, 2026, yes. And now I'm like, damn. And now I'm worried about 2028 because I don't know if 2026 is going to happen. My friend said to me, who studies this last night, he said to me, Don, what authoritarian regime do you know has ever relinquished power to a free and fair election? So you sit at home, don't do anything, see what happens.
Sure. So I'm gonna answer your question and this brother's question back there because, I think there's no nobility in allowing people to suffer because you can say you took the higher ground. I think we're past that, right? So, what makes the Democratic Party what it is, and what makes the Republican Party what it is. The Republican Party, and if you read books like How Democracies Die, How Fascism Work, they tell you that once you've kind of purged all of the diversity in a party, then you no longer can constrain the worst impulses of that party. And so all of the kind of moderate Republicans, they're gone from the party. All the diversity, any effort to try to make the party more racially diverse, more diverse of sexuality, that's gone. And so there's no constraining impulse. But Democrats are still a big tent party. So I don't think there's the same concern that Democrats are all of a sudden going to become this rogue party because they have too many different people in coalition together. And that's healthy. That's actually like, I'm going to contradict myself a little bit because part of what makes the Democratic Party so frustrating is they're not able to all agree on things, but that's actually how democracy works. You have to build coalition. Politics is the art of compromise. It doesn't work though when there's so much political imbalance. So that's where we are, is we have one party that's always trying to compromise and build coalition with a party that won't do that at all. That doesn't work. So that's when you got to have some thuggishness about yourself, right? And I mean that, but not the thuggishness that loses your morality, but suffering, allowing people to suffer. If you have the ability for them not to suffer, is also not moral. So I think we have to figure out, the Democratic Party is still trying to play politics as if they're facing the old Republican Party, and they're not. That party does not exist anymore. All of those people are gone from the party. As for hope, I'm not, what motivates me is rage, not hope. But I'm not even being funny. I am mad. I'm mad every day. I've been mad for 35 years. I've been mad a long time because I know we have a country with all of these resources, and we choose for people to suffer. We don't have to be that country, but we choose it, and we should all be angry about that. But it's, what do you do with your anger? So I like to say I believe I channel my anger into something positive that can have impact. But my friends always tell me, even though I say I'm not hopeful, that I have to be hopeful. Because to believe that you can write something and sit down and have, put it on the page, means you have hope that people are going to read it and have some response. So I do think hope is important. Our ancestors, Frederick Douglass in 1845, could he have believed that slavery would fall? in less than 2 decades, there would be no logical reason for him to believe that. But he had to fight as if it could happen, and it did. So I know that I come from a people who have unabiding hope, even if sometimes I don't have it. And the last thing I'm gonna say is to this sister, but to everybody, right? Don is right in that if we think we're gonna get out of this without a willingness to sacrifice something, that's just a false belief. You should be afraid. Courage actually requires fear. So it's okay to be afraid. If you're not afraid, it's not courageous. And that clicked for me. I was in Mississippi. I was in Jackson for Medgar Evers' 100th anniversary. And for some reason, I'm on a panel with veterans of the Mississippi Civil Rights Movement. Some of them who started in the movement, well, they weren't even trying to start in the movement. They just stood up at age 13 or 14 and said, you know what? I'm not going to allow you to treat me this way. And somebody asked them, I mean, this is Mississippi, the most lynchingest state in the country. Thoroughly apartheid state. And someone said, well, how were you not afraid? And every last one of them said, are you kidding? We were terrified. We were absolutely terrified. But if we didn't fight back, we were already dead. We would succumb to a slow death of our own oppression, and they refuse to do that. So it's okay to be afraid, y'all. I'm afraid. I know every time I get on the microphone, one day my job is gonna call me and be like, you went too far. And it's okay.
Oh, that happened to me.
Right. But true. Because what I know, y'all, it's gonna be an accounting. It's gonna be an accounting of this moment. History's going to be written. And when your grandchildren come to you one day and ask, what did you do? I know that I can answer for that. So you don't have to be out marching. You don't have to write essays. You don't have to be on TV, but everybody has a role. Most of the people in the movement were not leaders. We don't even know their names. But without the foot soldiers, the movement does not achieve its goals. So find the thing that you can do. Some people just cooked for the movement. Some people just hid the civil rights workers when the bus got blown up. Some sold their art so they could fund the movement. There's something that everybody can do, but what is not moral, what's not allowed, is for you to do nothing. That's right. So I just ask each of you, go home. What Timothy Snyder says is find that one institution that you feel or you can have the most impact and defend it. There's something we can all do, but what's not conscionable is for us not to do anything.
Why are you looking at her like that?
No, she actually
She's amazing.
I got tears in my eyes, actually. Yeah. Because you made me think about some stuff that I've been through. Because I might be from Baltimore, I'll drag you. But I'm scared. To have a president of the United States call you out of your name, have his minions come to you, to move my home, to have had the bomb squad come to my house. Don knows what that, because matter of fact, he and I,
I went through it too.
I know. Caesar Sayoc, remember that Caesar Sayoc, if you guys don't remember, he's the guy who sent those fake bombs to Michelle and Barack Obama, to CNN and everything. He tweeted, at the time when it was Twitter, he tweeted a picture of Don and I together. He said, we're next. Remember that? Yeah. I got one of those bombs and didn't know. I'm just going to say this. Thank you for making me feel like it's okay to be afraid. Thank you for letting me know it's okay. But even in my fear, I still write my way to truth for us in the Black press. Even in my fear, I stand with my allies to have a night like this. Even in my fear, I'm proud to be next to two bold ASS folks.
Ass.
It is in the Bible, though. But I'm so proud. And I'm so thankful that in this fear, we've come together to change the dynamic. Even this conversation will move the ball forward. I know you're angry, and I'm angry too. My husband and I, you should hear our conversations.
I was furious last night. I woke up furious this morning. And
You woke up furious?
Oh my God. I'm so mad at the Democrats. I'm just mad. I'm just mad.
I'm mad that this country allowed this man to do this.
Yeah.
This is everything. We have lost our rights. We've lost who we are. I mean, let's think about this. The Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department and in housing are gone. Right now, this is redlining part 2. They can tell you if you want to buy a home in a community, there's nobody there to help you do it, because they can say, oh, I don't want you there because you're Black, or you've got 5 kids, I don't want them there. That's how this country is now. We've gone back to the 1950s and 1960s. If you don't believe me, go try to buy a home in a over there. Where's a good place here to buy one? Go try to. Right here, yes, yeah. Try to do it over here.
What did you say about
Try to buy the home by the Obamas, okay? Go over in Georgetown, that was ours first. It was ours. Georgetown was ours. I want my house on the water back. But I'm saying this, and I thank you, sister, for making me feel okay. That it's okay to be afraid. I'm okay in my fear, as we are all trying to move back to a place, at least to a place where we are free. No shackles.
Before we finish, can I say something? Are we finishing?
We finishing.
Okay.
Say something.
Okay, so let me say that, the gentleman asked what we're reading, what we're, writing, looking at, all of those things. So I look very selfishly, will tell you to support every person who's on this stage and every Black member of the media who's in here tonight. Support us. If we have a Substack, subscribe.
Say your Substack.
Mine is Don Lemon of the Don Lemon Show. Go to YouTube and subscribe. I would ask you, go. It's free.
Mine is April Ryan with the T.
Yeah.
Go on there now, April Ryan, because if he gonna do it, I'm gonna do it too. April Ryan.
That's why I'm saying it, April.
BlackPressUSA.com.
That's why I'm saying it, April. But
and
look,
Nikole, say yours.
And go look.
But she's on Instagram and she's prolific.
So let me say this: the Don Lemon Show on YouTube. Go subscribe; it's free. Subscribe to April's Substack.
The T, April Ryan with the T.
Yeah.
He can't get it out right, so I'm gonna say it. April Ryan with the T.
And then make sure you support her by reading her stuff. Not only that, you should send your letters to the New York Times, praising her. You should go to the comment section or go to the comment line and say how much you love Nikole Hannah-Jones's work.
Yes.
You should write to her publisher of the 1619 Project and say, we need more of this. You should buy her books and hand them out. Christmas is coming.
Yes.
Go buy the 1619 Project and give it. Sir, you want to know, you said you wanted to have a conversation. You know what you do? Send them a book and say, I work with you, or what? I'm talking to you. Asked me, how do you get people to understand, right? You said, how do you get white people to talk about race?
Right, yeah, we see. We know who
was
you
that you?
are.
That was you.
That's him.
Sorry, you had the other thing. That was you. Go buy the 1619 Project or my book on race, which debuted at #1 in the New York Times. It's called "This Is the Fire: What I Say to My Friends About Racism." Send them that for Christmas.
In my book, Black Women Will Save the World, an anthem. So I'm not. Don Lemon is not going to upstage my show. So anyway,
no, I'm not trying to upstage. I'm trying to get support for every.
For you. I'm not. You
April, listen
Black
to
women
me.
will save the world, an anthem.
Oh my God, April! I'm not trying to upstage anybody. I'm trying to get them to support everyone. Okay.
All right. So listen, and before the questions are gone. It's on Substack. It just go on Substack. Go on April D. You'll find the T. Yeah. Oh, how many of you watched the T? Thank you. All right. So you didn't say that you were reading me. So listen, at this point, I want us to all give a big round of applause to Brad and Lissa for having this important conversation. We've gone over time, but here's what we're going to do. Everybody, what are y'all talking about? We're all going to sign our books, including Dr. Chavis. We're all going to sign our books. Thank you for coming out. Take this conversation to heart, remember it, and spread the conversation. Young man, you speak to other people. Everyone here, speak to people. Take this video and share it everywhere. This is a needed conversation with voices that have moved the conversation on race and on a whole bunch of other topics. This is an important moment. You are important. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.